Yo, what up? It's your boy Garfacio, and I am back with a new stream, people. After, some difficulties yesterday with not being able to stream at all, we are finally back, people. It's been a minute. And today we will do a bit, of a different stream. I'll put some footage of the new game which got announced yesterday. Pokemon Legends Z to A in the background, right? We will be talking about this game. We'll be discussing about everything we know so far and stuff we can basically predict or speculate, right? Based on everything we know. And this trailer, it's a hype, man. Legends Arc is probably my second favorite game, and now it's getting a sequel. Bro, in at least that category of games. I cannot wait. It'll be hype. So this will be kind of like a podcast-ish stream. And unfortunately, I cannot stream Pokemon Unite after this because, I got a bit busy and I don't have enough time anymore. But we will do this podcast for today and Unite tomorrow. So yeah, just play a game, do something in the meantime, or maybe join in the chat and talk. I will be doing a bit of a podcast, like I said. We will talk about all kinds of stuff. Even if you have kept up with the trailers and you know about a bunch of stuff, I think there will at least be a few new things I can tell you about, which might interest you based on what might come to this game. But yeah, massive hype. Anyway, let's look at the chat. Who's in the chat? Yo, what up, my boy Lopney XLR8? What up, Gar's back. I am back. Gar loves to mute. I am not muted right now, though. What up, though, okay? What up, Baker Brand? Gar is in his mute era. I'm not. I had to set up the video. That's why I was still muted. What up, Anarias? What up, Shiny King? What up? I'm glad all of you guys are here. What up, my boy Bluke? Garby like indeed. But man, we're finally going back to Gen 6. That's awesome. Honestly, who the heck expected this? I didn't. Did any of you guys expect this to happen? Did you guys expect that we would get Gen 6 and a Legends game of all things? I didn't, but there were a few hints, which I will be getting into. So yeah, without any further ado, let's talk about a trailer a little bit, right? Let's get into the trailer before we get into the lore. I'll be doing it this way. I'll be talking about the trailer a little bit, then we'll talk about the lore, which we know up till now in X and Y, with AZ, his Floette, and a bunch of stuff which happened in that game, which will likely be a focus in this Legends game, which is about to come out next year, alright? Pretty soonish. We don't even have to wait that long. And furthermore, after we talk about the lore, I'll be talking about some of my own theories, and I'll share some tweets, some posts which people have made with interesting ideas. So yeah, look forward to all of that. It will not just be what I think, but what the community in general thinks about this game. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the trailer. So, let me maybe mute the music. I guess we don't have to. We can just look at the footage. So, apparently this is a redevelopment plan. What is happening for Lumiose City, which is pretty much like the big city in X and Y, in Kalos. It is interesting that they're talking about a redevelopment plan, right? Because that means it's not just something that gets developed, but developed anew, again. So we're talking about a Lumiose City which already existed, but they are just remaking it in a way, right? So that is also interesting to consider because Legends Arceus was based in the past, and a lot of people are talking about this game being either based in the past or in the future. A lot of people aren't sure about it, and that is because the trailer itself doesn't look like it's based in the past. It looks kind of futuristic in a way, more modern. But that does betray its predecessor, Legends Arceus, which was easily based in the past. Like, you could already tell it from the trailer, but that's not a thing with this. However, there's also like another hint. If you look at the title, Legends Arceus A to Z, think about it, right? I mean Z to A, think about it. That's like the alphabet, but backwards. You're going backwards from Z to A. which also is interesting because in X and Y there's a character called AZ, right, who is part of the huge lore in that game, which will also likely be part of this game, that character, AZ, and now suddenly switch it back Z-A, which implies we're going from the future or the modern time to the past, and we're covering the past. But the city looks like it's not based in the past. So I'm thinking we will have both elements in the game. Something maybe with time travel will be implemented in this game, and we will be able to develop maybe the city, because it's a redevelopment plan. Maybe we'll be able to develop the city by going to the past and altering certain events or involving ourselves in certain events of the past, and that way we can influence how we build the city in this game, right? Which is interesting because Pokemon has done this before. In Legends Arceus, you actually were helping with rebuilding Jubilife Village. By doing a lot of quests and a bunch of that stuff, you were able to unlock more development with the city, the village. And you were also unlocking a bit of the music, the Jubilife City team. And once you were done developing this, the village, you would hear like the entire new Jubilife Village team. So them expanding on that feature is not crazy to think about. Right? Think about it. It makes sense, right? So again, maybe we will get like a more advanced building like side quest in this game, which is pretty cool. Okay, let's move on now. Let's talk about a cool mark in the trailer. Hold up, let me show it real quick. Right, let me show it real quick. Let me rewind the video. But yeah, this will be pretty cool. Okay. I guess let's talk about the logo first. If you look at the logo, right? Look at this logo, people. The logo is also interesting, not because it says Z to A with a dash. Oh wait, I accidentally restarted the video, hold up. Oops, I just closed the video. Hold up, let me turn the video back on. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's pause real quick. If you look at this, right? Yeah, Z to A. This tower kind of looks similar to the Lumiose City Tower, but it is not the Lumiose City Tower. It's actually based on the ancient weapon from the ultimate weapon from the X and Y lore, right? So, speaking about that, let's get into the lore, shall we? The lore, which is all about this, the logo, the tower, it'll be insane. So let me quickly just get a video. Let's react to a cutscene from X and Y, which shows all the lore summarized. It'd be cool to see a samurai teamed Grey Ninja instead of Ninja Grey Ninja. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be cool. I think Grey Ninja might get a new form, or we get Ash Grey Ninja back, but I'm not sure about that because they retconned Ash Grey Ninja. They purposefully, did away with that design because Ash is likely also gone from the anime. It was too much based on Ash, and we all know the anime has a new protagonist, Liko, so that might be a reason. But okay, let me quickly open the new video. Let's cover the lore in a neatly packed video cutscene from the games themselves, X and Y. Okay, hold up. Let me pause the video though. Let's start over with sound enabled. Alright, let's go over it. Let's pause it real quick. Okay, I don't know why, but I can't pause right now. Hold up. Let me turn off the music. The background music. Okay, let's get into it. A terribly long time ago, right? Yo, what up, Random Bass? We're reacting to some lore, X and Y lore, so feel free to join in. There was a man and a Pokemon he loved. That Pokemon very much, right? That is the Floette. That's AZ's Floette. But they just randomly met at first. Nothing special about the Floette yet. So, there was a big war. The man's beloved Pokemon took part in the war, right? That's AZ and his Floette in the war. it was sent to war, and AZ was the king of Kalos, right? 3,000 years ago. Keep that in mind, people. So several years passed. And boom, he gets a box, which is, in my opinion, I think the coffin of the Pokemon, with the flower on top. The man wanted to bring the Pokemon back no matter what it took. So what did he do? He built this giant machine, which is exactly the machine, the ultimate weapon, which is in the logo of Pokemon Legends, right? This is exactly it. So he built that machine, and he brought back his beloved Pokemon. But at this point, it was not a weapon yet. It was just meant to revive his Floette, right? Which he cherished, but lost during the war. The man had suffered too much, his rage still had not subsided, so this man went on a revenge arc. Like, he was so pissed at the war for taking his Floette, alright? He could not forgive the world that had hurt the Pokemon he loved. So this boy made that. He turned the revival machine into the ultimate weapon. This boy was so pissed, he took it upon himself to commit a genocide. He fired that weapon, and he ended the war by himself. The man became a bringer of destruction that ended the war, right? He on his baddie arc. He's on his baddie arc for real. The Pokemon that was given life must have known, so yeah, they guessed that they were revived. And there was a cost to the revival, by the way, that the lives of many Pokemon were taken to restore his life, a huge amount of lives, Pokemon lives. And by the way, the energy which was used to revive this Pokemon is called Infinity Energy or something like that. It's the same kind of energy which is used by Pokemon to Mega Evolve, by the way. And this energy is based off Xerneas and Yveltal. They were used as a power source for the revival machine, which turned into the ultimate weapon, right? Which also Lysandre fired off as the villain in X and Y to try and, destroy the world. Okay, but we already saw this. So, yeah, that is like the lore kind of summarized. And this all happened 3,000 years ago. The person who, ended the war and revived his Pokemon by sacrificing numerous lives of other Pokemon with the machine. That guy is called AZ, right? Basically, the title spelled backwards, in case you don't remember or you never played Pokemon X and Y. Okay, hold up. Let me turn on some background music. And that guy was the king of Kalos 3,000 years ago. And he is still alive in that game. And in that game, he got captured by the main villain, of the boss of Team Flare, Lysandre. They imprisoned him, and he had the key to the ultimate weapon, still as a necklace attached to him. So the main villain took that. He used the ultimate weapon for his own gain, but we, as the heroes in that game, stopped him. And the ultimate weapon is still in Geosench town, opened up, and it just backfired the plan, and he destroyed his headquarters or something like that. But yeah, basically that is kind of the lore, but there are also a few more interesting tidbits you should know. In Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, right, you're able to Mega Evolve. And the same thing in X and Y. That's also part due to the ultimate weapon. And once he fired the ultimate weapon, the energy of that weapon was scattered across the region. And that energy affected evolution stones, according to the lore. Regular evolution stones were turned into these mega stones, and they react to particular Pokemon, and they trigger an evolution based on your bond, based on the bond the trainer has with the Pokemon, right? So that was a key part of the Mega Evolution lore. Same thing in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The energy from the ultimate weapon is also harnessed for Mega Evolution. Although the interesting thing in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is that apparently there is an alternate dimension, right? In which the ultimate weapon was not fired to stop the war, and therefore Pokemon were not able to Mega Evolve because they were not able to access that energy. So there somehow exists an alternate dimension. And there apparently are different timelines of Pokemon. So one timeline, Mega Evolutions do not exist. One timeline, it does. And obviously this game will follow the timeline Mega Evolutions do exist, because Megas are back. And there's also like a third timeline about Gold, Silver, and Crystal, which is different from Gen 3. Because all the games we're playing up till now are based on the Generation 3 timeline. And it will get split again at Gen 6, in which there's a branching path between evolutions and no Mega Evolutions, which is crazy, right? So there are like in total 3 timelines. I did not know that up till now. Maybe new Megas. We will get new Megas. I'll talk about that in a second. We will get into it. But yeah, now you know more or less about lore. There's like an alternate dimension, and apparently maybe there's some fan theories that Xenia is from that dimension, right? Okay, let me go back. Let me you know. Let's open up the first tweet. Right, so let's open up some tweets. Like I said, I'll be talking about some tweets, but in the meantime, I will finish up the lore. But here, look at this tweet. This is also an interesting thing to talk about, right? So apparently a lot of people are speculating that the blanked out part of the map, of the Paldea map, was Kalos, and that Kalos was attached to the Paldea region, which is seeming more and more true. We will get into that later though. There's like more like information pointing to that. Okay, what are the guys saying in the chat? I've never played a game, but the first Pokemon anime I watched was XYZ. That's the one of the best seasons. You did the right thing. Mega Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not opening that can of worms. We can get a lot of Megas, but I'll only be talking about the Megas which are most likely, which we at least have some information to go off. So I'll be speculating about some Megas, but not just throwing, random guesses. But I'll leave that to you guys. Okay, let's get into a bit more of the lore, right? Because there are some interesting tidbits to discuss. Okay, let's talk about like AZ's Floette. If you look at, okay, let me maybe pull up the video real quick. After all, if you look at the logo, right, of the games. Okay, let me pull up the video. Let's look at the logo. Okay, let me mute the video though. Hold up, let's mute the video, and let's look at the logos. So there's something interesting about the logo, right? If you look at the Pokemon logo itself, forget about the Z-A part, you can see like a pink tint to the logo. The pinkish tint to the logo does kind of look similar to the AZ's Floette color scheme, does it not? Like, and the gray black and the pink, which does indicate that, in my opinion, right, that AZ's Floette, the Floette from the lore we just talked about, right, that insane Pokemon, right, which got revived from the dead, that Pokemon will be featured in this game likely. And furthermore, we have the ultimate weapon, which is also part of the logo, right? We have Z, which is Zygarde. Zygarde will play a role, and there is even more to this logo. Let me show you guys real quick. There's even more to this logo hidden to hidden from the eye, like from regular view. Let me show you guys. So this is pretty cool. Look at this tweet. So Joe Merrick, who is the founder, right, and the guy who runs Cerebi.net, Joe Merrick found out that in the dash between the ZA part in the logo, there's a slight tint of like red and blue, right? Basically referencing Xerneas and Yveltal. So apparently Xerneas and Yveltal do have like a role enough for them to be featured in the logo, but just slightly. My guess is that they will get Mega Evolutions. Since this game's all about Mega Evolutions, we will get probably some new Pokemon, some new forms, maybe regional forms, but above all else, we will get a bunch of new Mega Evolutions. Mega Evolutions are not just coming back for the sake of coming back. We are getting some new evolutions, alright? And think about it. Pokemon kind of did a wave Mega Evolutions at one point, and Pokemon was accused of, doing a one-and-done gimmick deal. You just add some gimmicks and then you remove them, and never was a gimmick featured ever again, besides in Mega Evolutions in a way, because they were introduced in X and Y, and they came back in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, right? We got even more Megas, and that was the entirety of Gen 6. And then even the Sun and Moon Megas were there, although they were like an afterthought, right? You could only get like Megas in a post-game. But yeah, now finally Megas are back, which is pretty hype. What up, my boy Jonathan? What's going to be 125% for Master Sword? If they're going to make an Eevee evolution, Megas, it has to be the OG tree. Maybe, right? That would be cool though. That pink is similar to Jigglypuff pink. Mega Jigglypuff is coming to the game. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Keep dreaming, Keep dreaming. But okay, let's get into a bit more stuff, shall we, people? So, if you look at the first tweet I posted. Okay, let's go back to... Not posted, I mean showed on screen, right? Let's go back to that real quick. So, Kalos and Paldea were at one point speculated to actually be next to each other on the map. And that's why a lot of people thought that the DLC would feature Kalos, and Megas would maybe even come back, but that was not the case. However, it seems that this theory is still relevant, because coincidentally, we are now getting another game, and it is based in Kalos, and it is about Kalos lore. And think carefully about the lore, right, in X and Y. We had the ultimate weapon, which fired off a massive blast into the sky and fell upon the place which was waging war. And then the war was ended forcefully. Genocide was committed and every party was eradicated. Alright, because AZ was mad and all these people took away his Floette. Well, if you look at the crater in the middle of Paldea, it is kind of weird that there's like a giant crater in the middle of the Paldea region, right? There's a huge hole, and there are a lot of Glimmora in the hole, which is weird, right? We still don't know why that is the case. Why is there a hole? Well, some people think maybe it's because of the ultimate weapon. The ultimate weapon was fired, and Paldea is, at least according to the theories, right next to Kalos. So would it not be weird that wouldn't it make sense that this crater could be caused by the ultimate weapon, right? And if you look at the crystals in Paldea, the crystals made by Tropicos, couldn't that also be like a byproduct of the ultimate weapon? Because the ultimate weapon also caused like these megastones to appear, right? And the weapon itself is kind of looks similar to the crystallized state of what's happening in Area 0. Hold up, I'll show you guys real quick another picture. Let me see. Where is my picture? Yo, what up, my boy LD Pat Player? How are you doing, man? Where the heck is it? Hold up, I'll look through all my tweets real quick. Oh, I know where it is. It's here. So, look at this. Look at this tweet. I'll read it out loud. Mordecai's Mons is saying something not a single person observed yet is that the tree that AZ planted in the Ores, Sutopla City, that has the Floette flower under it, has flowers that look almost identical to Glimmora from behind and have 6 leaves just like Glimmora's body does. Some are even the same color. What this guy's referring to is some lore in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. In a conversation between Wallace, the Water-type gym leader, after like the main story has happened, he told us that some huge guy, a huge man from Kalos, brought over a flower to the Origin Cave, the cave in which you discover Primal Kyogre and Primal Groudon. In that cave, he planted a flower, right, which was very similar to Floette's flower as well. And this flower looks similar to Glimmora in a way, right? So if you piece it together with Kalos being next to Paldea, with there being a huge crater in the middle, and with the ultimate weapon firing off a blast into the sky and ending a war, then maybe Paldea was involved in the war and they got blasted by the ultimate weapon. the ultimate weapon's energy caused Glimmoras to appear there, right? Because we still don't know what's the deal with Glimora. And it also caused, maybe it also has some involvement with Terapagos in a way. And that makes things even crazier, right? Because then these crystals, which look similar to the ultimate weapon, have a reason to also be there. And if you continue further into the rabbit hole, right? This is like the most convincing part to all of this. Pay attention, people. If you look at this, look at my screenshot right now. If you look at this, right? Roaring Moon's dex description says, according to an article in a dubious magazine, this Pokemon has some connection to a phenomenon that occurs in a certain region. Obviously, they are referencing Kalos and Mega Evolution with Roaring Moon's dex description. So that makes things even wilder, right? This is like, they are just calling it out. Like, refers to a certain phenomenon that occurs in a certain region. Come on, we were talking about Kalos. So if you put everything together, that makes it seem likely. That Kalos and Paldea are connected, and that we might even see Paradox Pokemon in my opinion, in AZ. Right, we might even see Paradox Pokemon because they have certain roots which could trace back to Mega Evolution. And let me show you one more video before we end things off, right? And, oh yeah, I have to discuss one more thing. Yeah, I know Brand's been 30 minutes, but I might talk a little bit more, like 10 more minutes to end it off. But let's discuss this and one more thing, and then we'll be done. But yeah, let me show you a video which might hint at Paradox Pokemon potentially being in AZ, right? Legends AZ. Let's get a video. I'm not doing the Venusaur raid. I'm not too interested in it, to be honest. It'll be like a 2-minute video. Okay, let's see. Where is it? Here it is. I got a video. Alright, this will be cool. Right, let's do this, people. Let's move on to the grand finale of the discussion. After this, we'll be talking about potential Mega Evolutions, by the way. Okay, let me pause the music real quick, and let's go to the video. Here we go. It's a bit small, though. Let me try and make it a bit bigger. Alright, there we go. It's a bit bigger. Let's turn on the volume. So this is an ad. An ad for a TCG card pack. A series in Hong Kong and in Taiwan. This features Paradox Pokemon, but it features Paradox Pokemon in locations we have never seen before in any game, which makes it an interesting thing to consider. I think these locations might be something that will be featured in AZ, but let's see. Let's look at a video. Right, so you see Totodile. Pay attention, there's a Totodile, right? In a ruin, right? Out of nowhere, with a Paradox Raging Bolt. And this is a futuristic city. From ruin, we go to a futuristic city with Pikachu and some random girl, right? With Paradox Cobalion. I forgot the name. Right, Iron Crown, there we go. With Iron Crown. So if we pause this video, right, look at this. There's a Totodile in an abandoned ruin, clearly hinting at the ancient past. And if we skip forward a little bit, right, just a bit more, there we see that he is likely like a professor. Okay, hold up, let me skip a bit more. Let's see. I want to get a good glimpse at what he's holding. Look at this. If you look at this picture, frame. Do you see? Look at the waist of the person who's facing off the Raging Bolt. He's holding the Scarlet book. So this like a researcher or explorer who is researching about the Paradox Pokemon, about stuff which is going on in Area 0 with the Scarlet book attached. And he has a random Totodile, right? Maybe there's also a hint at Totodile being one of the starters in AZ. And the way these locations are completely unbeknownst to us Makes me think that maybe this is hinting at Paradox Pokemon as well being in AZ, right? Because these locations are so surreal. You have even this city, this urban-looking city, which is similar to the Lumiose, which they teased, right? In the trails, you even see a Litten. Litten is another Pokemon, right? Which is one of the likely candidates to be featured in AZ. So it is super interesting. And of course, this lady is also holding the Violet book to mirror the ancient past, right? If you carefully look at her hand, you can see the Violet book right there and here as well, right? So yeah, that is pretty interesting. Okay, let's go back to the final part of the stream, right? Let's talk about the Megas now, now that we know this information. Okay, and likely starters. Iron Crown's my favorite Paradox. Iron Crown's pretty awesome. I like Iron Crown. That Pokeball on the card is incorrect. It's opening from the bottom. I mean, I can't do anything about it. I'm not a huge fan of the trading card game. Me neither. But I do like the cards. Anyway, let's look at likely starter Pokemon candidates for the upcoming games. Alright, so if we look at all of this, the likely candidates are Chimchar, Tepig, Chikorita, Turtwig, Snivy, Piplup, Totodile, and Popplio. And remember, people, there is the Totodile and the Litten from the trailers, right? Which is pretty interesting. And let me explain to you why the other Pokemon are, the other starter Pokemon are likely not to be candidates in AZ. All of these Pokemon which are crossed out have either already received some kind of new forms or Mega Evolutions, or they have gotten, or they're too recent, like the Paldean starter Pokemon, the Gen 9 starters. Pokemon, or Game Freak rather, never includes starter Pokemon which are just recent, like from the recent gen. They never give them like new forms, they never highlight them again right away. They don't make them the focal point, the main starter Pokemon of the next game. They don't do that kind of thing. So in Generation 6, for example, the Generation 6 starters, Greninja, Delphox, and whatchamacallit, and Chestnut did not get Mega Evolutions, despite Mega Evolutions coming out in Gen 6. They did not get Megas. Instead, Kanto Pokemon got Megas, like Charizard, Venusaur, you name it. And in Generation 8, Gigantamax and Dynamax were introduced. Inteleon and Cinderace, and what was the name? Why do I forget the name right now? Anyway, Grookey's final Evo, right? They did not get a Gigantamax form until the DLC, but not in the main game, right? In the main game, they did not get any new forms. So again, maybe in the DLC, we'll see some exceptions, but in the main game, when the main game comes out, we don't see anything for the newest starter Pokemon. Alright, and Charmander and Bulbasaur, Squirtle already got a Megas, Mudkip got a Mega, Swampert. Their final Evos, right? Blaziken got a Mega. Let's see. Obviously, this game's based in Gen 6. It's in Kalos, so Fennekin, Delphox, right? Greninja, and whatchamacallit? And how's this Pokemon called? Yeah, I guess Chestnut's favorite final Evo. They will not be starters. They might get Megas, right? But they will not be starter Pokemon, because in Legends, you get random starters like Rowlet and Oshawott and Cyndaquil in the Legends Arceus. So we will not get these guys with Megas, right? And Trico already has a Mega, right? What else is there? Nothing really. Like, all these Pokemon which are crossed out either have new forms or are too recent to really be a starter candidate. So that leaves Litten, Chimchar, Chikorita, Turtwig, Snivy, Piplup, Totodile, and Popplio. Based on the trailer we saw, I will be speculating that Totodile and Litten are going to be starters for Legends Z-A, right? Legends Z-A. And that leaves only the grass one. I think the grass one is a bit rough. I honestly feel like we need like an unpopular Pokemon that they make popular, right? that would be Chikorita in a way, because if you look at Legends Arceus, there was always like there was like the Oshawott line. Oshawott and Dewott are really popular, but Samurott isn't, and Meganium is also really not popular. So maybe it'll be Chikorita, Totodile, and Litten is what I'm thinking as the starter trio for Z-A. What up, my boy Lee? I need a robot Popplio. I mean, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. DM them, tell them Chikorita's underrated, and I need a banana Meganium. A lot of people love Chikorita and Bayleaf. They're popular, but Meganium is not popular. That's the thing. A lot of people hate Meganium, including me. No, the Kalos and ZA will be the same. I swear to God, they will do it. What do you mean the same? What are we talking about? But anyway, let's move on to potential megas. So, based on what I said, Totodile being in the game, right? And Litten and Chikorita, I'm thinking that obviously they'll get Mega Evolutions. All the starters will get them, just like in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It only makes sense. Alright? And other stars which might get into the game are not other stars. I'm talking about other potential Mega Evolution candidates are the Z Mega Evolutions. What do I mean with that? You have Charizard X and Charizard Y, right? Two Mega Evolutions based on two games. Now we got the Z version, which is coming out, the Legends Z game. So we will likely get a Z Mega Evolution of Charizard and of Mewtwo, because Mewtwo also has an X Mega Evolution and a Y Mega Evolution. So we have like two Mega Evolutions which are likely to happen based on a pattern, and these starters which will likely get a Mega Evolution based on the past, like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, where they got it. So yeah, that will be pretty interesting, people. So yeah, this was like most of the stuff I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I had one more thing to show, I guess. Like, if you look at this art, somebody made an art piece in 2023, alright? Last year, on the 9th of December, they were making a fan piece with a fan theory to it that maybe there will be a Legends game taking place in the post-apocalyptic Lumiose City with Paradox Pokemon. Even this guy is a believer in that Paradox Pokemon are going to come back in Legends Z-A because of all the lore that ties them together, right? The Kalos region and the and the Paldea region, and based on Roaring Moon having its ties to the Mega Evolution phenomenon with Kalos, that's even more reason to believe that Paradoxes are going to be there. So that is pretty cool. If Charizard gets a new form, it should have its final Evo a Dragon type. I mean, it won't happen likely. I don't think they'll change Charizard's typings at this point, but it already has a Dragon Evo. They might do something else, you know. That would be pretty cool. Rotom Motorcycle. You think so? We'll get a Rotom Motorcycle? I don't know, man. What if they made a new Mega Evo? Ultima Megas. That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny. That would definitely be funny. Alright, see you later, Ricky. But yeah, I think that's about it for this stream, right? Oh yeah, there's one more thing I forgot about. We could also talk about the map. If you look at the map, right, this is the Lumiose City map, but it's completely changed. They added way more details to the map, so this is likely going to be the real in-game map. It's like concept art for it. And if you look at the picture to the right, we got like Rogue Plaza, which is a location in X and Y. And if you look at the top left corner of the gameplay picture, you see like this round circle with a red dot. That is actually the plaza on the map. If you look at the map, right, which is a screenshot from a trailer, the blue one, then you see the map's kind of separated into 5 districts. This is probably going to be the map, because they said to us on Twitter that this game will take place only in Lumiose City. There's going to be no huge world you can explore. It'll be just the city itself, which is pretty wild to think about, right? So if that is the case, then these 5 sections of the map, which are already like lined out, will likely be 5 different areas you can explore. and each have like this plaza in the middle, like the circle, right? In between the pizza slice, in a way, the pizza map. And at the top, you can see like Rogue Plaza, for example. Just like in the regular X and Y Lumiose map, you have Rogue Plaza, which is only like this structure in the middle, and it's like an empty spot. But I bet they will make something really cool out of it. And it'll be really interesting to see how they will make it so that Pokemon, you can obtain Pokemon, but it'll still feel like you're exploring an interesting world. Because Pokemon is all about going everywhere, exploring the entire region, traveling across vast amounts of lands, but now it'll be completely restricted in a way, which is a bit weird, right? Which is kind of counterintuitive to Pokemon's design philosophy. But now they're actually going to try something new. They'll make a restricted city in which you get to catch all kinds of Pokemon, which is weird to think, right? Because there are Pokemon which are part of like ice regions, Pokemon which are part of like deserts, like it's a whole wide breeding world with Pokemon living in the climates they're supposed to. But now that's thrown out the window. Now you're just going to find Pokemon in the city exclusively. So I don't know how they'll do it, but it will be interesting to see. And to be fair, Pokemon's already experimented with making a map inside of just one circular area. Look at this, for example. If you've been playing the DLC, right? You've been playing the DLC, right? And in the DLC, you've been playing on the terrarium. The terrarium is also a circular map. So yeah, keep that in mind. That's exactly the same as with the Lumiose map, which Ace Trainer Liam has highlighted on Twitter, which is pretty cool. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they're cooking up with this restricted format. I'm not like one of the haters. But yeah, that's it for this stream. I have talked about more or less everything I have been cooking up and what I've seen online, what people have been cooking up. And now let's just wait till the next news we get, like new trailers and stuff like that. The hype season has begun. And let's see what Game Freak will show. All kinds of cool new Mega Evolutions they will tease and showcase leading up to the game. More information on what the heck is really happening with these, I guess, games. Will be based exclusively in the future or in the past, or will it include both? We don't know, but we'll find out. But I think it's a combination of the future and the past, and it will involve time traveling. That seems the most sensible to me. We will be rebuilding or redeveloping Lumiose City, I think, by doing that, right? By influencing the past and the future, right? But I guess going into the past, changing some stuff around, like events. Maybe we'll get into the war. We'll experience the war itself, and then we will influence how the city will be built in the future. That is pretty exciting, right? Because this does look futuristic to me. Whilst there is a massive amount of lore we still need to explore in the past, like the logos hinting Z to A. The alphabet backwards, right? Instead of A to Z. But yeah, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And see you guys tomorrow for some Pokemon Unite. Thanks for joining. Let's do some shoutouts. Thanks for joining my boy. Hold up. Let's see. So I'm joining my boy Lopunny, my boy Lee, my boy Shiny King, Digital Garfacio, I guess. Thanks for joining my boy Branda. Evil Garfacio, thanks for joining. All these weird alts. Let's see. No K, thanks for joining. But they didn't do it for Arceus. They didn't do what? DM them? No, the Kalos and the Z-A will be the same. Okay, if you say so. Anyway, thanks for joining all guys. It was a fun stream. You know, a bit different from what we do usually. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow's Pokemon Night, like I said.